If we view learning as a business process, knowledge acquisition is the front end, the back end is recall and application. Now, most L&D resources are directed at the first part of the process: learning management systems, social and informal learning, content creation. There is a $350 billion industry behind the front end. Smart Snips are focused on bridging the gap to the back end. The back end is the hard part. What were the takeaways? Will employees remember them? Can we prove their use, application downstream? Can we demonstrate an ROI? Today, this is largely a black box. Our ability to track knowledge retention and application is very limited. At a minimum, it involves a lot of inferences, and it's very hard to get to learning ROIs or to justify infrastructure investments based on the data. Yet, this is where the rubber meets the road. Mistakes, lost sales, injuries, missed markets, product misses, frustrated customers. Just about everything that goes wrong in business, or where the competitors out-execute you, can be traced to a knowledge deficiency or differential. And the reality is, we try to drum far more information into employee heads than they are capable of holding. The frailty of human memory is well documented by both our own personal experiences as well as hard science, and it is all compounded by rapid information growth in an aging workforce. Smart Snips give L&D the power to close the loop on learning. They empower learners to curate their takeaways as portable, permanent knowledge. Smart Snips is a platform that plugs into other systems, designed to complement and extend existing investments in systems and content. Smart Snips empower employees to transform content to knowledge by capturing their takeaways as Smart Snips, curated micro-knowledge objects. Think of them like digital brain cells that employees can share and re-access on demand. Some characteristics of Smart Snips: they are fast and easy to capture, portable and permanent. In addition to capturing nuggets of content, they capture employee gray matter about those nuggets, such as their interpretations, opinions, thoughts, ideas, and notes. There is zero context loss, as one click and the source content reappears, rotated to the exact page in SnipSpot. They are hyper-accessible via their size, mobility, and findability. And since we know when people view them, share them, or do anything with them, they provide visibility to how, when, and where knowledge is being used. Let's take a look at a couple of these use cases to bring some of this to life. Let's say something went awry at the plant last night. The reactor an employee was operating blew a hole in the facility and destroyed $2 million in product. Now let's say the employee doesn't remember messing anything up, coworkers are not ratting them out, or management starts asking L&D questions about training and learning. Traditionally, we may make some inferences based on the training the employee took, related to operating the reactor or working with that specific batch of product. With Smart Snips, we get much more explicit about knowledge capture, tracking, and the limitations of human memory. We take the knowledge that usually exists between people's ears or in ad hoc sticky note-like systems and make it accessible and visible. For all materials related to the reactor or the product, what were the employees' takeaways? Did they capture everything they needed to know? How did they tag and organize this information? How are their takeaways changing over time, as more basic or high-repetition knowledge became ingrained in long-term memory? Is it realistic to expect they could remember critical information for their circumstance in question? Who else were they exchanging Smart Snips with? Networking with? To what degree did the employee re-access various Smart Snips between their creation and the explosion? With Smart Snips, we offload a big part of our memory into systems and can juxtapose our utilization of this external memory with events. Let's take a look at a more positive scenario. One sales rep is crushing everyone else, and you want to find out how to get everyone else up to that level, as it would double overall company revenue. Smart Snips allow us to get inside employees' heads and see how they capture, organize, and share and access knowledge. With regard to the sales rep, what content are they consuming? What did they take away from the content? Are most of the Smart Snips they view ones that they captured, or are they leveraging their colleagues' knowledge? If so, who are those colleagues? What are their organizational roles? What are the topics the Smart Snips relate to? A sales rep's Smart Snips collection is basically an extension of their brain, where they store knowledge that makes them an expert on clients' markets, pain points, needs, and solutions. We can look at when meetings took place or key events in the sales cycle, and look at the knowledge that was accessed and when. Now, there are an infinite number of use cases here. We're just scratching the surface with what we can do once we are generating knowledge objects from learning activities. Smart Snips enable us to move from delivery of learning content to the explicit production of employee knowledge. This produces very tangible, measurable output, and this output can then be used to power a whole host of HCM-related use cases, ranging from employee onboarding to sales enablement. Completing the learning loop with Smart Snips can transform L&D in three ways. First, by closing the biggest gaps in learning, which we believe are faulty human memories and the current challenges tying learning to business outcomes. Second, by expanding the role of L&D, from the delivery of learning content to a more explicit way of measuring and manage knowledge worker capabilities. Here's a chart on what we call L&D knowledge influence, which illustrates the potential increase in influence that L&D could have over the generation, transfer, and management of employee knowledge. And third, generating an unprecedented knowledge asset by systematically capturing institutional knowledge that can power a myriad of use cases, not just for HR, but across the organization.